Hi, my name is Gabriel Schleder from the Federal University of ABC and the Brazilian Nanotechnology National Laboratory. On behalf of my co-workers, Carlos Meira Costa and Professor Adalberto Fazio, I'll present our work titled 2D Materials Thermodynamic Stability via Machine Learning. In materials science, we have two main goals. The first is materials discovery, which explores the material space composed of elemental, compositional, and configurational spaces. The second is materials design, which aims to find and improve the best candidates for each interest property or application. As such, the number of degrees of freedom is huge, and the search strategy in this space is of paramount importance. The traditional approach evaluates each material to assess the target property, which is time and resource consuming, while in a data-driven or inverse approach, using no information, we can accelerate this process with methods such as machine learning. In this work, we are interested in 2D materials discovery to expand the number of available candidates for different applications. The first essential requirement to any potential application is obviously the stability. In other words, the material must exist. Here we use machine learning, which allows us to test a huge number of materials, but very efficiently. To use machine learning, we need three components after defining the problem to be solved. The first is adequate data, which is the topic of this conference. The second is the material's numerical representation, which will be used as input, also called descriptors. And finally, the machine learning algorithm, which will take the available examples and learn a function to the target property, using only the previous descriptors as input. Our general plan is to generate combinations of materials with different elements, compositions, and structures, and train a machine learning model to predict if the resulting material is thermodynamically stable, which allows for future property screening and applications. We define our thermodynamic stability to be learned based on two criteria: the formation energy, which can be positive or negative, and the energy above the convex hull that describes the decomposition energy to competing stable phases. With this, we define three materials classes that we will use as learning target: low, medium, and high stability. The data source we use is the C2DB, which contains over 3,000 2D materials DFT calculations, based on a combinatorial decoration of different structural prototypes. An important point is that differently from most machine learning for materials, in the case of materials discovery, we do not have the structures, atomic positions, since that would require calculations which we want to bypass. Instead, we use atomic properties and the proposed prototype structure. To ensure a fixed size descriptor, we use simple statistic functions to each property, leading to invariance with respect to number of elements. We use a gradient boosting algorithm, which is based on decision trees. With this, our learned model has overall performance of around 90% in test predictions. To employ our resulting model, we can now make predictions by choosing different structural prototypes and generating combinations with different elements. As an example, we can generate 1,000 novel ternary 2D materials with elements from groups 3, 5, and 6 and almost instantly predict the stability for each one of them. Here we show two examples which our model predicts that are stable in one structure but unstable in another. We calculate these materials with DFT and confirm that indeed the model made the correct prediction. In practice, our model can be used as the first step in a screening strategy for different properties. As proof of concept, we calculated with DFT the electronic properties of selected stable materials and identified novel potential candidates for photoelectrocatalytic water splitting. To conclude, we presented a machine learning accelerated materials discovery approach that is efficient even though it does not take structural information as input, and can be used in screening and material selection strategies, as shown for water splitting. On the technical side, the machine learning choices regarding features, representation, and algorithms must closely follow the study goals. For those further interested, the article reference is presented in this slide. I thank the funders and our group for the support and thank you for your attention.